There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 60-yard dash. It's been a while. I don't know, actually. How long has it been since I've actually been on a show, Bryce?
Ah, man, it's been at least 2 weeks. I ain't seen you in a minute.
It's been a
Been
little while. I've
backstage
not
working hard.
been backstage. I've been watching football. I've been getting banned on Madden. It's been a great life. I'm so mad about that Madden ban, man. You don't even
Yeah, I heard.
know.
I heard about it, man. That's tragic. That really is.
Apparently, there is a list now of over 500 people that have been banned this
Oh my god.
weekend on Madden, and I just
So how
happen to
much?
be one of them.
How much longer is EA gonna have Madden? You figure? Because they're under a lot of
So that
heat right
contract
now.
runs through 2024, and there's no way it goes exclusive after that. There's no chance.
I think they got one more year, and if this next game sucks, I think NFL is gonna find a way to get out of that contract.
I hope. I'm so sick of EA. So, guys, we just closed the whiskey hour. We're going to open up the 60-yard dash with what I started yelling about. Tom Brady is washed up. I'm going to let you heard me real quick on the end of the whiskey hour there. So let's go. Let's go. What do you got?
Yeah. I can't agree with you there, Jake. I want you to say this out loud with me. All right. 43 years old, 2 weeks into a new offense. Just say that out loud for me.
Absolutely nothing about that makes sense to all those overthrows sailing. As a quarterback, I know where receivers' routes are relatively supposed to go. The
Yeah.
first interception to Mike Evans absolutely was on Mike Evans. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He cut the
Right.
wrong way.
Right.
However, every single overthrow that Tom Brady is doing is not on the receivers. That's Tom Brady throwing it a little bit too far because his arm is getting very close to being noodle-like.
I can't agree with you there either. I mean, we saw Noodle like last night with Drew Brees. I mean, would you rather have
Oh,
a
I don't
quarter?
disagree with that at all.
I think you can fix overthrows. You can't fix not being able to throw the ball downfield. At least he's getting the ball downfield. You can fix overthrows. I think he'll catch up in a few weeks. I'm telling you, that's what happens every year. For the last 5 years, I've heard Tom Brady is done. I've heard it the last 5 years. It hadn't happened yet. I'm not counting him out till he retires.
Heather, welcome. It's been a while since I've been on any show, really, that's not the wrestling show. And you don't like the wrestling show because you don't like me. I get it. It's fine. Now, do you think Gronk is washed up? I'm going to let you open with this one because it's a segue straight into the Brady.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he come back mainly just as a decoy. I mean, I'm sure he's still good as a blocker, but take a year off football, especially all the injuries he sustained during his prime. I think he's over with. He shouldn't have come back, to be honest with you. But hey, if I can come back and get paid $9 million to be a decoy, I would do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I fully agree. Tom Brady also washed up. I'm going to say that again, just so you understand. Hey, Tom Brady is washed up. But Gronkowski is more washed up than Tom Brady. He just came from the goddamn Masked Singer, and he still looks like he's dropped, probably about 40 pounds. He's not as
Yeah,
agile. He's not as fast. He just looks so bad on the field.
yeah, he does. He does. He's moving in slow motion out there. It looks like a few routes I've seen him run. He really hadn't been on the field that much. Not running routes, just blocking.
They know as well as we do that he's got nothing left.
Yeah.
What's funny is I'm sitting here just yelling, and I think Bryce doesn't quite know how to handle it. He's over there
I
like,
don't, man. I thought you were a Tom Brady guy, and you're just sitting here trashing him. I'm trying to.
oh, I have been so over
I'm.
Tom Brady for the last, it's literally started with the Jimmy Garoppolo trade. I'm done. Right there. I'm all about the future. I don't care who you are. I don't care what team you play for. I don't care how good you were. The Colts knew they had to move on from Peyton Manning. Why couldn't the Patriots realize they needed to move on from Tom Brady? Now, don't get me wrong. Jimmy Garoppolo did not work out in San Francisco. That's pretty clear.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, it's not like that was a good trade. I mean, Patriots probably got the better end of that trade. I don't know who that second round
Debatable.
pick became, but
Debatable. That is still debatable. You can only say that in retrospect because Jimmy Garoppolo didn't stay with New England. Had Garoppolo stayed with New England, his career could have gone in any direction.
I mean, he could have. But I think he's under a Besco for sure. I think I'd take Kyle Shanahan over Josh McDaniels. nine times out of 10.
This new age, young, hip, with the kids kind of head coach doesn't fly with me. I don't like Kyle Shanahan. I don't like Sean McVay. I do like Kevin Stefanski, but he has a very peculiar offense.
Yeah. I mean, it worked last week. Looked really good last week, but they were playing the Bengals.
Heather, where were you about a half an hour ago? I already said Russell Wilson is the top quarterback in the league. Right now, as of this year, just these 2 games, as it stands right now, Russell Wilson. Bryce, what do you think?
Is Rodgers still the top QB? I was out on Rodgers, but he looks really good. I don't think I could put him
top 5 right now. Absolutely.
That's what I was about. I was about to say. I don't think I could. He could be in my top 8 for sure.
Ooh, top 8. You don't even have him in the top 5.
Yeah, I don't know if I can put him in the top 5 yet. I need to see a little more. Man, who has he played? Minnesota, who looks terrible. They looked terrible last week against the Colts.
Yep.
And then who'd he play this week? I can't remember.
Who has no secondary?
Jeff Okuda's their top corner. He's a rookie. Yeah, so I mean, I got to see a little more before I can put him in the top 5.
I easily have Russ at number 1.
Yep.
Jackson.
Well.
Rodgers.
Yeah. Okay.
In reality,
the 2
Kyler.
weeks. Yeah. Kyler's been Josh Allen. We're not talking about Josh Allen enough. He looks incredible.
That's another guy that's versed 2 just really bad teams. And given his history last year, he's gonna beat up on some. He's gonna hold on. We have somebody joining us right now, ladies and gentlemen. The 60-yard dash. I am gonna bring on our man, Austin. How the hell are you tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good.
Right now, we're just talking about some quarterbacks.
Talking about Aaron Rodgers. I know you got a lot to say about that.
My favorite.
Aaron Rodgers. So I got Aaron Rodgers as one of the top 5 in the league at this moment through 2 weeks. Bryce has him in the top 8. Where do you put him?
Top 3.
Oof. Man.
And he's not 3.
Who do you got above him?
I have Russell Wilson. That's it.
That's it. That's all you can have.
I'm sold. You put Wilson at 1, and I'm happy. That's all that matters.
I got Aaron Rodgers at 2 right now. He's playing out of unbelievable. It looks like 2011 Aaron Rodgers all over again. And if that's the case, the league's in trouble.
We got Dean here saying Russ, Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, Rodgers in that order.
No.
So my thing about Josh Allen is, much like Bryce had just said about Aaron Rodgers, is they both versed 2 really bad teams.
Yeah.
Now Rodgers is putting dimes on the field. Allen is just kind of throwing it up, and Stephon Diggs is catching it.
Yeah.
I expected Allen and Diggs to beat up on these 2 awful teams. But just like last year, what's going to happen when they go face a good team?
I don't know, man. His completion percentage is up. That's the only thing that ever bothered me about Josh Allen. He was like a 55% guy in college. Usually that number doesn't go up when you translate to the pros. It goes down or stays the same. And he's completing a lot of short passes. He's not just throwing it down the field. He's hitting them on every level. His completion percentage, I think, is sitting over 60%, well over 60% right now.
Yeah.
So if he can keep that up, he's looked really good.
Go ahead,
with Miami, go ahead.
There's Bryce again.
Go ahead.
Austin, go ahead.
That was all you.
Oh, you started talking. Bryce kept going.
No, I think it was Bryce, and then you started talking. I was waiting for you to talk. Go ahead.
Whoa, guys. We got to get on the same page. This is a wild show tonight. I'm here instead of Nick. I got a different energy than
Nick.
It's wild.
No Nick, and it all goes to chaos.
Well, okay, first thing first, when I'm here, everything goes to chaos because all I do is yell at people.
That's true.
So let's go to Heather's comment here. What did you think about the Dallas game last week? I'm going to assume she means the Dallas and Atlanta game specifically.
It's a miracle that Dan Quinn is still the head coach today.
I fully agree with that.
That's the biggest choke job I've ever seen.
I didn't think Dallas
job in the Super Bowl.
I don't know about that. There's a Super Bowl in there too.
That's higher stakes. No, man, I think Dallas looked terrible early on. Yeah, they come back, but they think I mean, Atlanta's not a good team. Let's be real. They're just not.
No.
You get yourself down that deep with a Seattle or I mean, at this point, even Arizona, somebody like that, you're not going to dig your way out of it.
No.
No. There's no reason why Dallas won that game besides apparently we're going to play don't touch the ball on an outside kick. Awful idea. That's Pop Warner football 101. Jump on the ball, no matter what.
I just really didn't like the play calling. Mike McCarthy's play calling, it looks just like it did at the end of his tenure in Green Bay. Nothing really has changed outside of the fact that he's got a few more things that he really didn't have in Green Bay, like a dominant running game and all that stuff. But the play calling still looks stale to me. It still looks like his situational football IQ, as far as, what to call when, it is kind of dropping down. Dallas is just, they're not a good team right now. They got away with one, like, by the skin of their teeth. But like Bryce just said, they do that against a good team, a New Orleans, a Green Bay, a Seattle. They'll bury you. There's no coming back.
They also have the added advantage of being in such a bad division.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles are hemorrhaging at the seams right now. I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia.
Carson Wentz is going on.
We're watching Carson Wentz, the guy who I thought going into this season, MVP candidate. And we're watching him regress rapidly before our eyes.
He doesn't look comfortable. That's the biggest thing. He does not look comfortable back there. I don't
would
know what
have
it is.
never called Carson Wentz an MVP candidate.
That's
a little extreme.
I had the same view. I thought he would be a top 3 guy going into this year.
Yeah.
But he still can be.
Wait. At the beginning of the season, with what weapons?
No, by the end of the season. But I'm saying, by the end
So
of the season.
Is he going to make a bunch of nobodies?
Jalen Reagor, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. I thought he could do it.
Deshaun
Zach Ertz
Jackson's
doesn't
there.
want to be there. Jalen Reagor's
exactly.
been a nobody.
But it's sad because he's a quarterback that I really like. I mean, he's got everything you really want in an NFL quarterback today. He's big, strong. He's got a big arm. He can extend the play outside the pocket. He's willing to sacrifice his body to make a play. But the injuries that we've seen him kind of accumulate through his short NFL career, I think, are already starting to catch up to him. And I think we're getting something similar to what we saw with Andrew Luck happen, where, he was so dominant when he was healthy, and then he just kept getting banged up and then banged up again. And then it's going to be like, well, now he's never going to be healthy.
The difference with that, though, is Andrew Luck never had offensive line. Carson Wentz had a great offensive line. Maybe he's just an injury-prone guy. Until this year.
Martin right here, right now, Wentz is proving he is, if not one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL, to which I say I still want to introduce you to Baker Mayfield.
Fair enough.
I mean, at the same time, guys, it's week 2. I think everybody needs to calm down. I'm going to give Carson Wentz, I'm going to give him 2 more weeks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him 2 more weeks. If it doesn't improve in 2 weeks, I'm out on him. But I can't give up on it week 2.
If they start 0-4, let's use that. Actually, let's go with 0-6. Let's go to 0-6. If they start 0-6, do you think we see Jalen Hurts?
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
No injury involved. Let's start there. No injury involved.
I mean, you just paid Carson Wentz all that money. I'm like Austin. Maybe it's possible, but I don't think we see it. I don't think Jalen Hurts is ready.
It depends how you're losing these games. Are you losing these games because of Carson Wentz, or is Carson Wentz kind of pulling his head out of his ass and playing well, but the team as a whole is just not winning? Because I mean,
he's got no offensive line.
He does have no offense, which is crazy to me.
That Redskins game wasn't his fault. I can't give him all the blame there. I mean, I watched that game. He was dropping back and immediately had somebody in his face. Immediately when somebody was in his face. I can't give him the blame for that.
But that Rams game.
Yeah, no, he looked bad.
He looked bad.
Really bad.
Yeah. The
Neither one of you got anything else?
Weird spot.
There we go.
NFC's kind of in a weird spot right now.
Yeah, I mean, with the entire offensive line decimated by injuries, he's got no time to really drop back. By the time he's taking his 3 steps, he's getting demolished.
Yeah.
So either they need to figure out a new offense completely in a matter of a couple weeks, or they need to do something about that offensive line. There's no in between there.
Yeah. And it's very hard to do something about the offensive line.
Yeah.
That's a really hard problem to correct. You usually carry that with you throughout the entirety of the season. And, you try to address it as much as you can with the free agency and the draft. But Philadelphia, I mean, even though they look kind of weak right now, we're still not, out of the conclusion that they're an 8-9 win team. And winning those 8-9 games is going to take you out of contention, for high value, trade targets at the offensive line, those big market tackles that are going to be up there, a Penei Sewell, those guys are going to be out of the picture for them. So they're going to have to do something, free agency, some second, third round guys are going to have to get coached up, but that Eagles offensive line is atrocious. And it's old and expensive at this point. I think Philadelphia is one of those teams where they're just so strapped with cap space that there's not much that they can do mid-season. They're going to have to start unloading some of those older offensive lineman contracts, the Lane Johnsons, the Jason Kelce's. Those are going to have to come off the salary cap.
I fully agree with that. No, I don't know if you guys actually had a game plan for this episode because, I wasn't expecting to be here until about 4 or 5 hours ago.
Kind of like Justin Herbert the other day.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
That's where we'll segue into this. That was
Excellent
perfect.
segue, Bryce.
That was an excellent segue. So, as per usual, I get on a show. I'm unorganized. Absolutely. So we're just going to go into the Justin Herbert. After the game, Anthony Lynn said Tyrod Taylor, when healthy, will still be the starter. Oof.
I like the idea, actually. They showed a little bit of a glimpse of what Herbert possibly could turn into. He looks well poised, considering he's playing against the greatest quarterback that we have in the NFL right now. He looked good. I was not big on Herbert coming out of Oregon. I've kind of sold all my stock in Oregon quarterbacks since Marcus Mariota. Herbert did a lot of things in college I didn't like. He sat in the pocket too long. He pats the football. Didn't really see too much of that against the Chiefs. Anthony Lynn made a smart game time decision to just throw Herbert in there. The Chiefs were not ready for him. They did not game plan for him. So I don't know how much stock I can actually put in this first performance just because that's not the quarterback that the Chiefs were preparing for.
Right, exactly.
But moving forward, if they decide to go with Tyrod Taylor, I support that decision because I think we need to see a lot more. History has shown us that quarterbacks that sit longer are better when they start actually starting. Miami doesn't seem like there's any date in sight for Tua to start. They seem kind of comfortable just kind of hanging in there with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Obviously Green Bay has Jordan Love in the closet for the next 3 years. We won't see him for 3 years. And then, Cincinnati, a historically dysfunctional organization, just kind of throws their guy in there because that's all they can do. The Chargers are a little bit more well-run than Cincinnati, so I think it's smart that Herbert sits.
I'm kind of torn on it because I don't know if you guys watched the Chargers-Bengals game. Not a lot of people did. That offense was painful to watch with Tyrod Taylor in the center. They couldn't move the ball on Cincinnati. And the Chiefs are a good defense. Like you said, they weren't game planning for him. He looked good. I want to keep him in there, but at the same time, coming out, he was the least ready NFL quarterback out of the top three.
I agree.
Burrow, Tua.
So my thing about this one is you have Herbert, who came in, and you said, obviously, the defense couldn't game plan for Herbert because they had no idea.
Right.
It was like the coin toss where everybody found out Herbert was starting. That doesn't change the fact that the Chiefs offense couldn't score on the Chargers defense.
Yeah.
So if Herbert can just stay substantial like that, you're in the game against the Chiefs, who are the Super Bowl defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to consider it's a divisional opponent. And if you look at both games the Chargers played against the Chiefs last year, they gave Patrick Mahomes problems with Phillip Rivers. I mean, the Chargers team is severely underrated. They have guys everywhere on that team.
They're a top 5 roster for sure.
They don't have Derwin James right now.
Yeah, no Derwin James, but they still have, Casey Hayward and Desmond King. And then you got Melvin Ingram III and Joey Bosa. They added Kenneth Murray, a linebacker who I really like out of Oklahoma, to kind of solidify the center of their linebacker core. So that defense is no joke. They have Linval Joseph. That's a solid
Drew Tranquil,
defense.
who was underrated last year. He looked good last year on the linebacker core.
There's a lot of guys on that team that can play. They have weapons on offense: Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Hunter Henry. These are all real guys. They've rebuilt that offensive line in the offseason, adding Brian Bulaga from the Packers. They got Trey Turner from Carolina. They look good. That team is ready to compete. They just need their starting quarterback. So I think, you keep Tyrod in maybe for the rest of this year, win 7 or 8 games, get a decent pick, add somebody else to the roster, and then, next year, Herbert from out the gate is the starter.
Yeah.
I'd go with them.
Because, let's be honest, you're not going to win. You're not going to win that division with Kansas City there. So
no, but you got 3 wild cards, and they could very easily take one of those.
Yeah.
And then in the playoffs, any given Sunday.
Like we said, Herbert looked good, but they still threw interception. I think once a team gets some tape on him, 2 or 3 games of tape, they're going to figure out what he doesn't do good. I think he throws a few more interceptions, just like he did in college. That hurts his morale.
Yeah.
He's not as confident going into next season. I think it's best to let Tyrod start at least 3 or 4 more games.
My biggest problem with Herbert coming out of college was that he never really came. He to me, he reminds me so much of Mitch Trubisky.
Oh,
because you tell me
he was a lot better than that. No, I think he's a lot better than that.
Well, I'm talking about coming out of college.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As a prospect, I liked him a lot better than Trubisky.
I don't know, because to me, he just never came off his first read. He was really bad at ad-libbing. If he was, locked in on one receiver, he would deliver the ball. He throws a nice ball. He's got a big arm. But once it was kind of time for the offense to break down and he's got to read the field and find the open receiver, that's kind of where he tends to struggle.
I liked him a lot more. I thought he was more like Josh Allen. At the end of the year, they kind of cut that offense open at Oregon, and he looked good those last few games, especially the bowl game. He looked really good. They opened up that offense for him.
Yeah, that really just switched his spot on my mock draft after I watched the bowl game.
Yeah.
So, what is the worst 2-0 team in the NFL right now?
The worst 2-0 team in the NFL right now.
That's a good question. I want to say Rams. I want to say Rams, but at the same time, I don't want to say Rams. Rams look all right.
I want to say Seattle.
Ooh.
Just hear me out. Hear me out. Seattle.
Wow.
On off, just hear me out. On offense, they're phenomenal. Russell Wilson is firing on all cylinders. He throwing to 5 different guys for 5 different touchdowns. That's unheard of. But their defense looks atrocious. Like they're giving up big points to Atlanta. They're giving up big points to Cam Newton and Julian Edelman. I just don't know if that team is if they play a team that has a really good defense, like a New Orleans or a Baltimore, and they can't stop the other team's offense, they're going to get swept. Like I think they lose by 2 touchdowns to Baltimore.
I think I'm going to go with the I'm going to go with the Patriots. That's what I'm going to go. My team. I think
they're not 2-0.
Yeah, they're 1-1.
Yeah, they lost the other night. My bad. So then I will go with Jesus Christ. That was
all right, so I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears.
Oh my God. Wow.
The Chicago Bears have no business being 2-0 at all.
I thought they'd lost the week. My bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, they're 2-0.
Right.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
The Mitch Trubisky's not going to hold up. Under any circumstance, he's not going to keep playing at MVP level. No. They're going to come back to earth, and they're going to come back hard.
I'm going to take the Steelers. That's who I'm going to go with. I don't think they're as good as – yeah.
I don't know. That defense is nasty.
No, they did not beat Denver as bad as they should have been. Drew Lock went out very early.
You're right.
They should have beat the Broncos a lot worse than they should have beat the Giants a lot worse than they did, and they didn't. I'm not sold on the offense. I think the front seven of that defense is good. I think they got their holes in the secondary. I'm not high on them. I hadn't been high on them at any point in the season. I still think they're an 8-8 team at best.
That's wow.
Yeah.
I got Pittsburgh probably at this point 11-5,
Ooh.
taking a wild card.
11-5. Oh no,
Yep.
no man. What was the final score on that? They only beat Denver. I only think they beat Denver by Jeff Driscoll come in and gave that defense trouble. Jeff Driscoll. You guys know who Jeff Driscoll is?
Anybody? I mean, yeah, he was the backup in Cincinnati.
I know who he is. Yeah, yeah.
Anybody can come in and give the defense trouble because you don't game plan for it. I could be the backup quarterback off the street for any team, and I could give the other team a little bit of trouble because they don't know what I'm going to do. They don't know what my progressions are.
Daniel Jones, who none of us think is a great quarterback, gave his secondary troubles. They held Saquon to 6 yards and still should have beat the Giants a lot. Should have beat the Giants a lot worse than they just didn't.
26-21 was the final score of Pittsburgh and Denver.
I think I'm going to have a campaign started for Jake to lead the let's have the Jacksonville Jaguars into battle against the Steelers front seven. I just want to see
a game time decision. Yeah, game time decision.
I just want to see.
I'm gonna be honest. If I still had throwing ability in my actual throwing arm, I'd probably be better than Gardner Minshew.
Whoa.
Oh my God! What?
Oh.
Yeah,
that's a hot take.
That was not a hot take. That was the truth.
So I got something. I was thinking about this all day. I was watching The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and they were talking about how the sea opened up for LeBron this year to win the championship because of everything that kind of happened. The Clippers getting bounced, the Bucks getting bounced. And I thought about it. The NFC just kind of opened wide open for Aaron Rodgers to go to the Super Bowl. The only team that gave him real problems last year is in pieces right now. And they're going to be in pieces to the point where they're probably going to be a wild card team because they're not going to win that division now.
Are we talking about Minnesota?
No, we're talking about San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You're talking about not in the whole like.
Yeah,
okay, I got you.
You definitely lost both of us there.
Yeah, they're
I thought you were talking about the NFC North.
Same.
No, I'm talking the NFC. I think right now Green Bay is the best team in the NFC.
Well, you just said Seattle wasn't that good.
I like Seattle a lot too, but I like Green Bay's defense way more.
Oh man,
Arizona's a serious contender now.
I like the.
I mean, San Francisco's going to get healthy. I mean, they lost a few guys.
They just lost 3 of them for the season.
Yeah, they're
done.
Their season's over.
They're done.
Yeah, no, that
was
season's
the only
over.
Team that gave us real issues. We kind of overcame every other obstacle last year, except for San Francisco.
But you didn't see Arizona this stacked last year.
That's true.
Arizona's a dominant monster in the West now. Seattle's better than they were last year.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay and New Orleans, I don't trust Drew Brees anymore.
I don't either.
But the Rams don't look bad.
To figure it out.
Yeah, the Rams don't look bad.
The Rams, yep.
And I agree with all of that. I think top to bottom, if you look at roster, though, I think outside of New Orleans, but I don't trust Drew Brees, like Jake said, I think we have the best roster.
Tampa Bay.
Three good.
Tampa Bay definitely has the best roster in the NFL.
Well, Tampa Bay, yeah, but
their defense is incredible. I don't know if you guys have been watching them.
They're going to figure things out in Tampa Bay, and really, what that means is they're going to just pull the normal Tom Brady and do checkdowns, but those guys can actually get yardage, unlike the Patriots. That's all that's going to happen. So every pass is going to be 2 yards upfield, and then Mike Evans is going to run for another 30, or Leonard Fournette's going to run for another 30. That's what's going to happen.
I do agree with you about Seattle, though. I think Seattle's a second seed.
I think second seed doesn't matter anymore.
I can't, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
I can't agree with that. I mean, Seattle is. Russell Wilson threw 11 touchdowns in 2 games, crap like that. 9 touchdowns in 2 games.
9 touchdowns.
I mean, he looks incredible. I don't think anybody can stop him.
And he has. But Aaron Rodgers is also leading the NFL right now in passer rating, QBR. His QBR between 2 games is a 90.
Yeah, he's been throwing against Jeff Okudah and Mike Hughes. So,
Yeah,
Russell Wilson went after Stephon Gilmore last night, time
Yes, he
and
did.
time again. The best corner in the league
Second
right now.
best.
I mean, who you got first?
Tre'Davious White.
That's a hot take.
Stephon Gilmore gave up 2 touchdowns last season in coverage. Tre'Davious White gave up 0.
Stephon Gilmore was the defensive player of the year,
What
so
about
He should have been.
I got to take him there. So.
White had more tackles. White had the same amount of interceptions, and White didn't give up 2 touchdowns. White should have been the defensive player of the year.
All right, we'll go 1A, 1B with Stephon Gilmore being 1A. But
No, I can agree with
Jalen Ramsey.
But yeah,
No.
No, not in this conversation.
Oh, okay.
This is an A and B conversation, and C can stay out of it.
All right.
Oh man, let's segue to the Jets. You guys want to talk about that dumpster fire?
Oh,
God.
boy, my favorite team to talk about, the Jets.
All right, Austin, I'm going to let you open this one then.
It's super simple. I have a great plan for the Jets. Fire Adam Gase. Fire him now.
2024, got it.
Fire him with the harshest words possible. Make it public, because the team that he's putting on the field every Sunday is an embarrassment to football. Like, you're not utilizing Le'Veon Bell. Then you decided to utilize Le'Veon Bell. You get him injured, and you're going to keep playing him, and the injury gets worse. Sam Darnold, his NFL career is going to be ruined if they continue to let Adam Gase put his sickly hands around him as a mentor. No, nuke it, blow up everything, start from scratch, because this team is by far the worst. I had Jacksonville pegged to get the number 1 pick this year. I'm out of that. I think it's the Jets now, and I think they're going to end up taking Trevor Lawrence.
And they're going to ruin Trevor Lawrence next year.
Yes, they are.
I mean,
So, hold on,
Go
real
ahead.
quick, let me catch up on some comments here. We got Brandon, as usual, talking about Minnesota. I could be the starter in Minnesota. I have Kirk Cousins on my bench right now because I have Russell Wilson as my starter in fantasy in the GCSN Dynasty League, mind you. Numero uno, he got negative 2.7 points last week for me. I have somebody I'm trying to get on waivers. I don't trust this guy either, but it's better than Kirk Cousins. This Raiders fan right here, Renzo, watching us make the Patriots-Raiders pick. So who do you got in the Patriots-Raiders Week 3 game?
I got New England. It's definitely impressive what the Raiders have been able to accomplish the last 2 weeks. I mean, they kind of put the hurting on a Carolina team. Derek Carr's looked good. He flat out outplayed Drew Brees on Monday. So I think the Raiders are a really good team. Darren Waller looks phenomenal. He looked like a top 5 tight end. I mean, he is, judging on his stats from last year. But I got to take New England. I think they have the better defense. I think Cam is figuring it out in New England. He's getting Edelman involved. Bill and Josh McDaniels are game planning well for what Cam does best and what Cam doesn't do so hot. They're going to start opening up that playbook a little bit more to let him throw. And N'Keal Harry's probably going to start getting a little bit more involved. So I got New England. Is it in New England or is it?
There's no fans. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Bryce,
what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go New England. I think the rosters are kind of neck and neck. It's just going to come down to coaching, and then I'll take Bill Belichick over John Gruden.
So going back to our Packers conversation, the West is way better than the North.
That is true.
Agreed.
We still have the Niners winning the NFC West, but man, those 3 other teams are looking way better than they were last year, especially the Rams.
I'm sorry to tell you, Renzo, but there's no chance in hell that the Niners win the division this year.
Yes,
no, not anymore.
Nope.
Jets disrespected Darnold to the highest degree because they don't care enough to give him a good O-line and weapons.
Yep.
We got our boy Nick Lombardi commenting about his Jets fandom. Are you ready?
Let's see it.
Jets fan here. Best thing for Darnold to do is find a way to run. This team has presented zero interest in developing him as a quarterback and refuses to play both his strengths or the strengths of the weapons around him.
I think it comes down to coaching in the Jets. I mean, this is not a bad roster. I mean, it's a bad roster. It's not this bad of a roster. They should have at least kept that game last week close. So I'm with Austin. I think you got to get Gase out of there. He's not a good head coach. I think he's a coordinator at best. Get him out.
Adam Gase is this year's Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah, I mean, except he can call plays, but
exactly.
He's a coordinator. He's a coordinator. I don't know. Freddie Kitchens is not even a coordinator. He shouldn't even be a coordinator. But you just got to get him.
Freddie Kitchens shouldn't be in the league after what he did to Cleveland.
Get somebody in there with high energy that wants to develop. I mean, I think Gase wants to develop Darnold. I mean, he looks like this year he's kind of keeping him safe. I think he knows the season's going to be a wash. Throwing a lot of short routes. Not letting Sam – you guys know how many completions Sam Darnold has over 40 yards in his career? Take a guess.
Maybe 7.
Zero.
What coach do you think – 0. Holy shit.
0.
What coach do you think is going to get fired first in the NFL?
Patricia. I think
Damn it, you took mine.
I think it'd be Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn?
Yeah.
If Dan Quinn didn't get fired after blowing that game, I think he's there for at least a season. We also have to take into account that this is going to be such a weird year.
Yeah.
The whole COVID thing, I don't think many teams are going to be like, you know what? Now's a good time to fire my coach. Not this year.
No, you can't this year, no. Because then you got to get a guy.
Yeah.
You got to get a new guy in there vetted.
Exactly. The only ones I really potentially see getting fired are going to be Adam Gase and Matt Patricia. That's it.
There's a guy in San Francisco named Robert Saleh. He's kind of orchestrated the whole 49ers defense. He's going to get a head coaching job this offseason. And if he goes to a team like the Jets and builds a defense that can at least take the ball away, give Sam Darnold more opportunities, and then not Andrew Berry, Joe Douglas, their new GM, can go into the draft, get him a Jamar Chase or a Justin Ross, or even a Devontae Smith, get somebody for him to throw to. That team's not looking too bad. I think they need a defensive head coach. I think Sam Darnold will figure it out on his own. With a good offensive coordinator, I think he'll be okay. He just needs weapons.
Sam Darnold won't be in New York at the end of this year.
I think he will.
Sam Darnold, no. Especially if they get that number one.
Well, if they get a number one pick,
Sammy D's out of town.
Yeah.
Even if they get the number 2 pick, Sammy D's going out of town.
I can't agree with you there. I think if the number 1 pick, you got to take Trevor Lawrence. There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, the gap between Lawrence and Fields I don't think it's worth it. I think you keep Darnold if you got the number 2 pick.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I think it's just you draft quarterbacks because you think they will be the future.
Well, I still think Sam Darnold is. That's the thing.
Well, that's the problem. You think he is, but now you're going through another GM coach change. Do they think he is? Because they hold no loyalty to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
They didn't draft him. They didn't sign him. They hold zero loyalty to him. So if they don't think he is, they're going after Fields at number 2.
Yeah. I think it's kind of the same thing with Carolina. I mean, Carolina not having Christian McCaffrey right now, they're potentially in that top 5 spot where they can grab a quarterback. And are they really thinking right now, Teddy Bridgewater's our guy long term if Justin Fields is there or miraculously Trevor Lawrence is there? No.
It's much like the situation that Baker Mayfield's in right now. He wasn't drafted by that coach and GM combo. So he has to have a really good year to keep his job.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Browns are going to be looking for another quarterback in the offseason.
Well, the difference with that is Sam hasn't really wore out his welcome yet. He doesn't have any off-the-field problems. He doesn't speak bad about the team in the media. I mean, everybody agrees his problem is he has no weapons around him. Baker has all the talent in the world around him, and he's still not good. So I think that's the difference there.
Yeah.
I think you give Sam Darnold another year. Yeah, if he's bad that year, they're going to find somebody else. But
It
I
all
think
comes
he sticks
down
around.
to if the new GM coach combo believe in Sam.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, they hold no loyalty, as I said. And that's it. So Pat, I listen to Pat McAfee every day, mainly because he's so funny.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
And he point blank said, I forget who, I think it was talking about Baker Mayfield, actually. He point blank said, when I was in Indy and we went through a coach and ownership or a coach and GM change, the GM took me into the office, and the very first thing he said to me was, if you don't produce, you're gone. I hold no loyalty to you. I didn't pick you. I didn't draft you. You need to produce. That's it. He walked out of that meeting. He was like, well, shit, I need to do my job.
Yeah.
It's a real thing in the NFL that does happen.
Yeah, but
No
I
matter
mean,
who you are.
but I mean, can you just cut a guy like Sam Darnold? I think just like this year, the Browns had a coach GM change. They're going to give Baker. They gave Baker this season. This is the season. So that's what I'm saying. A coaching regime change in all season, you got to give him at least a year. Then you can say, all right, he's not my guy. I think the same thing happening with Mike McCarthy and Dak. Mike McCarthy and Dak. I think Dak's out before Mike McCarthy is, just because Mike McCarthy's going to go and be like, hey, he wasn't my guy. I need my own guy to work in my system.
See, that's debatable, though, because you can walk in and just want to strip it down and start over because you know as a new coach GM, you're going to be rebuilding the team no matter what. You're not going to take over the Patriots who are already in a well-oiled, established system. You're not going to take over the Seattle Seahawks. That's very rare and few and far between because if a good team has a good thing going, they're not just up and firing their GM and coach. It's not happening. So you're starting from scratch.
Matt LaFleur fell into a gold mine.
He got lucky.
That team
And
was
he
ready
only
to
got
go.
lucky because Aaron Rodgers wanted Mike McCarthy out the door.
Yeah, that team was ready to go.
So that it goes 50-50. If you get a GM that wants Sam there, all right. The coach is going to have to make it work.
Didn't Joe Douglas just get there? I mean, are we sure he's out the door too? I didn't. He just got there. Within the last.
Joe Douglas is there to stay.
Yeah, so I don't. That's what I'm saying.
So it's going to be coach.
Just a coach.
Was Douglas the one that drafted Sammy?
No, he wasn't. But I think he likes Sam Darnold. He does. I think he's come out and said, which I mean, he's going to say that, but I think he really does.
Now, there's one big difference I've noticed between when I'm on show and when Nick is on show.
What's that?
It's besides me yelling up a storm. That's not it. It's the fact that when Nick is on show, you guys are more dry talking about the games. Whereas when I'm on show, I pull the opinions out of you and we go deep into the detail of everything.
Right, yeah.
Weird flex, but okay.
Hey, you know what? I'm just pointing out the obvious.
It's just, Jake, I go into conversation with you, and I know you're going to trash Brady and praise Dak, and I'm just defensive and ready to come back with anything I got.
To make you feel better, Bryce, I can trash both of them if you'd prefer that.
No.
Do it. Let's hear it. No, let's hear it. Come on, bud. Come on, bub.
It's easy. Dak's terrible. Brady's a system quarterback.
Yes, he is.
Oh, my God. No, he's not.
Oh, yes, he is.
No, he's definitely not.
Stop it, Bryce.
He is definitely not. I'm tired of hearing that, man. He is not.
Both of them have made their living or will make their living by throwing 5-yard outs and 6-yard slants.
Didn't Brady hold the record for touchdowns in a single season at one point? Maybe I'm forgetting.
When he had Randy Moss and Wes Welker?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Come on.
So wait, the only time he ever – wait. We're going to go back to the only time in his career that he threw over, 43 touchdown passes?
And Wes Welker wasn't that good outside New England. Nobody ever is because they're leaving the GOAT.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite of the Jets. Everybody's great when they leave the Jets.
How can you call him that and not have your head burst into flames? GOAT.
Listen. I mean, Rodgers definitely isn't if that's where you're going with it.
Well, here's the thing. At what point, athletically, as an athlete or as a football player, was Tom Brady ever the best quarterback?
I mean, he's got plenty of MVPs to tell you.
No, 2007. 2007, most definitely.
One year. There's not.
I mean, we can go the same with Aaron Rodgers. You got 2011. That's all he's got.
2015.
No.
MVP.
Tom Brady. Okay, what if you're going off? Okay, so we're going off MVPs. Maybe MVP. Jake, how many MVPs does Tom Brady have? Do you know off the top of your head?
40.
I will look it up too
I think he's
real
got
quick.
40.
I know at least three. At least three. So I mean, that's 3 times right there. He was the best in his career.
I just don't. There's never been a time that I've watched Tom Brady and been like, wow, he's good at this one thing. He's so good at this one thing that he's better than everybody else at it.
Yeah, the check down. Nobody does it as good as Tom Brady.
Nobody throws a 5-yard slant better than he does.
Listen, Bill Belichick wasn't successful before Tom Brady.
3-time NFL MVP in 2007, 2010, and 2017.
Yeah.
He's a 4-time Super Bowl MVP. 2 of them shouldn't have gone to him, but, it's the Super Bowl.
Well, 2 times he shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl, but that's neither here nor there.
And there was 2 times where he should have been in the Super Bowl that he didn't go to the Super Bowl. So it evens out. We're going to go down that route, though, real quick. Check Peyton Manning's MVPs real quick.
I think he's got 5.
Yeah, he's got 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But see, to me, then
5, 2003, 2004, 2008, 2009, and 2013.
To me, there's things with Peyton that he was the best at. He was the best at pre-snap. He was the best pre-snap quarterback damn near of all time. Aaron Rodgers is probably the best outside the pocket thrower of all time until Patrick Mahomes popped into the league.
Or until Anthony Barr come downhill on Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no. We are talking about happy times right now.
No, you know what the real good, only best thing Aaron Rodgers is? Throwing the ball 50 yards downfield, doing a quick prayer, and the receiver magically catches it.
Or throwing it out of bounds. He's good at that,
He's
too.
gotten lucky over his
about,
career.
What about all those throws that he throws in between like 4 defenders, just flicks his wrist, and it's just...
Every quarterback has those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even
Missiles.
Gardner Minshew was doing that last week.
No. Not like Aaron. Not like Aaron. That throw against Minnesota, the first touchdown.
The 4 guys in the exact same
See,
spot,
Austin,
a different receiver. Oh, my God.
Austin, if you'd called me 3 years ago, you would have got me to say that Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback of all time. But you can't even say that now. Patrick Mahomes is blowing him out of the water.
Yeah. But pre-Patrick Mahomes, he's the most talented quarterback in the league.
Well, look, post everything, Tom Brady's still good. So.
Russell Wilson. Hands down, the most underrated quarterback of the last decade.
That's fair to say. Yeah, he's definitely underrated. No MVP votes is just disgusting. But
Wilson has by far been better than Rodgers in the last decade.
For the last decade, no.
In the last decade.
He's been better than Rodgers the last 5 years. Arguably,
I think if you watch Coward a lot, Coward puts up the stats. I think the last 7
back up the
years
train. Hold up. Renzo, Mahomes is okay. Coming from a Broncos fan, I'm not surprised he'd be this ridiculous. Renzo, Mahomes is the best quarterback the NFL has seen in the last 20 years.
How are you going to say that? Mahomes.
I can't even. I'm not even going to respond to it.
Mahomes is the perfect quarterback.
Mahomes, when it's all said and done, is going to be the greatest of all time.
I can't wait.
Will he have as many rings as Brady? That's still yet to be seen. It's very unplausible. 6 is a lot.
When
that team's going to go to salary cap hell real quick.
When Bryce comes on the show crying because he has to relinquish the term of GOAT to Patrick Mahomes, it'll be a great day.
Yeah, it won't happen.
We'll be here on the Game Changer Sports Network for it.
Yeah,
my bad. He's not a Broncos fan. He's a Raiders fan. Still in the division.
Which is worse.
Oh man.
I'll play Patrick Mahomes any day of the week.
Injuries real quick. We're gonna start in Denver with Drew Lock. They signed Blake Bortles today as a replacement. Obviously, Bortles isn't gonna start on what do they think they're playing Sunday?
I mean, he might.
I doubt it. That's probably going to be Jeff Driscoll again, and Denver season is over.
We talked about it a couple of shows ago. We were talking about Von Miller and man, their season's really over now that Von Miller's gone. But then they looked okay. They looked like they had a pulse. Well, now it's.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I just want to be.
Yeah, no, you didn't say that. Now it's really over. no Cortland Sutton for the rest of the year, and no Drew Lock for the foreseeable future. It's not looking good. That season's
No,
over.
absolutely not. So, I mean, when the division with the Chiefs and the Raiders, who look all right, not the usual dumpster fire that they are, and the Chargers, who look really good, that their season's over.
Yep.
Man, don't count out old Robbie Bortles. You guys know that was his first name? It's not Blake. It's Robbie.
Renzo.
Broncos
Robbie. Were done the second Lock went down. I fully agree.
Yep.
So let's move over to Malik Hooker in Indianapolis. Is that going to have an actual effect on the Colts defense, or is that just a eh?
I don't know.
He's hardly ever plays to begin with.
Yeah, I don't know what the Colts are, so I don't really know how that affects the grand scheme of things. I mean, they look terrible against who they play week 1. It was Jacksonville.
Yeah,
they look absolutely awful against Jacksonville, and then they look like a division leader against Minnesota. So I don't know where that puts them. I don't really see Malik Hooker's injury being a big issue. That defense kind of relies a lot on their front seven with Justin Houston, and they got guys that are there that can still play, but I just don't know what that team is yet.
I mean, so what about Paris Campbell?
Same thing with him. I mean, he's a second-year guy.
Yeah.
We don't know what he could contribute to the offense, so we don't really know what they're losing. So it's hard to say.
Let's go on to the New York Giants.
Oh.
Saquon Barkley.
Their whole offense.
Season's over. Gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, they have Sterling Shepard, and they still have Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, who doesn't throw dimes.
Darius Slayton.
Danny Pennies.
Look pretty good.
Yeah, Danny Pennies.
That's what
much like Carolina and Christian McCaffrey, Barkley and McCaffrey are those teams' entire offense. Everything runs through them. McCaffrey will be back, but it's not going to be in time. So both their seasons are over.
Yep.
Byron Jones and Devontae Parker, both injured.
Both big-time injuries. Yeah, big-time injuries.
Okay, Byron Jones might be the most overrated cornerback in the league.
That's fair to say. But Devontae Parker is a really nice receiver.
Yes, he is.
I think he's only overrated because he got paid so much money. I think if they signed him to a few million less, we wouldn't be saying that. I mean, he's a good corner.
He's good, but he's not
top 10.
He's not.
He's top 10.
He's making, as a Packers fan, he's making me real nervous for the Jair Alexander contract. When I seen the Byron Jones contract, I was like, oh no, that's he's resetting the market for all the.
And I'm going to go the opposite and say Devontae Parker's pretty overrated. So I flip-flop there. Still got Preston Williams, who I think is going to end up being a better receiver.
Yeah.
Giants are just, how do I put this, trying?
Doesn't look like it.
They could have, no, the Jets don't look like they're trying.
Jets definitely aren't.
I mean, let's hit on San Francisco and all the injuries. Let's see. Here's the list. Where'd it go? I lost it. Hang on.
Bosa, Solomon Thomas.
Oh, here it is. Okay. So we have Raheem Mostert, Jimmy Garoppolo, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Tevin Coleman, Dee Ford is returning, and then all the guys you named. I'm not going to name them again because why would I?
Yeah, it's a mess.
How much of that do we actually blame on that new MetLife Field, though?
I don't know. I don't know how much.
The players seem to be blaming it all on that. So,
and they're playing there again this week. They're versing the Giants at that field again.
Yeah. The NFL is supposedly going to investigate the field to make sure that it's up to standard and that it's not dangerous to any players. But with the amount of injuries that they've sustained, they're in a very similar boat to what the Eagles were in last year. They're trying to keep their head above water right now, trying to get hopefully healthy enough to make a late season playoff push to just kind of scrape into that 6th, 7th seed. But the chances of them winning that division, it's over. Seattle's taking that division. The Rams are healthier and look better than 49ers did in their first 2 games. It's over for San Francisco right now. You got a Super Bowl slump combined with the most amount of starter injuries that I've seen in the last 5 years. It's over.
If no one got injured, do they go through the Super Bowl slump?
I still think they go to the Super Bowl slump. I think even healthy, I think they're regress a little bit. Instead of being at, I think, 12 wins last year, I think they come down closer to like 10. But they still would be competitive. They'd still be a playoff team. That now, I just don't know if they're even going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they can. Not in that division.
Well, okay, the division at this point with 3 wild cards, it doesn't matter anymore. If we had a fully healthy San Francisco, I would say you get Seattle as the division winner and all 3 of the other teams in the wild card spots because the rest of the NFC is that bad, with the exception of potentially Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And Green Bay.
No, I don't mean like I meant for the wild card.
Wild card, yeah.
I was like,
yeah, Green Bay probably take that division.
Yeah, Green Bay's taking that division. Saints are taking their division, and whoever the dumpster fire in the East is going to take that division.
Probably Dallas.
And probably Dallas, and that's going to leave Tampa Bay with the 3 teams in the NFC West with a fully healthy San Francisco fighting for the wild cards. Now, realistically, it's going to be 2 teams from the West and Tampa Bay locked in now.
Yeah.
So we got, 4 minutes left? What are you guys looking forward to next week? Or this Sunday, not next week.
Just football.
Yeah.
Whatever game's on, I'm enjoying it.
My team's going into the Dome to play the Saints off a heartbreaking loss to the Raiders. So I'm looking for hopefully Devontae Adams plays. I know there's kind of some questions about his hamstring right now, but I think he'll end up playing. Michael Thomas, I know, is probably not going to play. So it's interesting to see how the Saints are going to try because they really struggled without him in week 2. It's interesting to see how they're going to try to recover from that in week 3 against us. And then the game of the week is by far Monday night, Baltimore, Kansas City. It's very much the telling of what's probably going to be the AFC Championship game. Baltimore's top to bottom, the best team in the AFC. Kansas City's got Patrick Mahomes. It's kind of like I have an army. We have a Hulk. It's kind of that thing.
I put Baltimore top to bottom best in NFL roster wise.
Yes.
They don't have a hole. And that's hard to do in a salary cap league.
That's because they haven't paid Lamar Jackson yet, but that's coming.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, we still have Mahomes just got paid, and that team's still extremely dangerous. And I want to know exactly who at the NFL that they're, to get that salary cap to keep going up for them.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're winning the Super Bowl. That's what it is.
They're backloading that contract.
They're making the league money.
Yeah, do you do that with Lamar Jackson? Would you sign him to a 10-year deal?
No.
I know Jake probably wouldn't. Yeah.
The style quarterback he is, I wouldn't trust it.
I give him 5.
Yeah.
I definitely if Lamar does stay healthy, I definitely give him 5. But I wouldn't trust his style with a 10-year.
Yeah, because I think that's all Kansas City doing, just backloading that contract. Going to pay Mahomes his last few years in the league.
Well, one thing I'll say about Lamar is we kind of seen him throw the ball a lot more already this year. He seems to be trying to stay in the pocket a little bit more, finding open receivers. He's trying to develop as a passer. If he can do that and become more of a Deshaun Watson and less of a Michael Vick, I mean, then maybe he's a 10-year guy.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I have yet to see a Baltimore game because up in New England, like the middle of New England, apparently we don't care about Baltimore and we care about Tampa Bay, which comes as no surprise, really. So our national games have been Tampa Bay and we had Green Bay and Minnesota. And obviously the Patriots locally. So I have yet to see Baltimore play. I don't know what really or how Lamar looks besides highlights, and the highlights are the highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he's looked pretty good.
He's looked really good throwing the ball. Just like I told you.
If he develops into an actual passer, my opinion on him will change. Now, we have 45 seconds left. I'm going to do my usual spiel, give away all the other shows. We have tomorrow night, Squared Circle Talk. On Thursday, we have our double header of Behind the Basket and Inside the Ice. On Friday, we have nothing because we don't like you guys and we need a day off. On Saturday, we have Talk Interference Sports. On Sunday, we have Circus Monkey Sports, and then we wrap it back around to Monday with the baseball show. And then Tuesday, once again, we're back here. I probably won't be on again because, it's an anomaly when I'm on and I just come on and yell at these guys because that's what I do as the boss. It's fun.
Yeah.
I love it. As his camera falls, like, no, this guy. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the 60-yard dash. When I'm on, we get real opinions and real answers from these two rather than game reviews.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. I am tearing into you right now.
All this Nick Eubanks disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's watching.
That's what he gets.
I'm
Nick's
sure he's watching.
He's crying right now.
I hope he's watching. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week or whenever the next guy is on the next show. I don't know. I make the schedule. I know everybody on the schedule. I don't like telling you guys who's on what show, though. So have a great night. Enjoy football. Enjoy the NBA Finals, playoffs, Eastern Conference, but whatever you're watching. Enjoy the hockey finals. Guys, sports are in full gear and enjoy every second of it. We have missed this.